mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
We've been journeying in the wrong direction this whole time. We've been journeying outside of ourselves. Why?
DaWise, talk to him.
It's been a long time on here pushing out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Maybe this is the year right here. Energy. Go within. There's something inside of us. We gotta do better collectively, you know? Right? Energy. Go within. There's something inside of us. We gotta do better collectively, you know? Energy. The first stage is realizing that you are. That's the first step. Confront yourself. Realizing that you are. Energy. It's been a long time on here pushing out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They can't put negative notions on us. Think about it. Great things is happening, whether they want to believe it or not. Maybe this is the year right here. This is the year for it right here. Right? Energy. Go within. There's something inside of us. We gotta do better collectively, you know? Go within. There's something inside of us. We gotta do better collectively, you know? One's image of oneself should be greater than reality. Don't let nobody tell you that you ain't great, because you are.
DaWise.
Energy.
YouTube. What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? As y'all can see, great things is happening. Pages are going down. Certain content creators are upset. You know, you can just see the things that's happening right now, and it is tied to the fact that negative cannot exist in the Aquarius sky. So everybody that's pushing out negative, they're begotten negative right now. Negative is begotten negative, right? So this is why you see them taking each other out. This is why you see the measures of attacks that they're taking, you know, all the things that they're doing right now. This is why you're witnessing that. And I got some stuff that I'm going to add to the petty pocket. I want you guys to, you know, take a gander at it. Someone said that I was convincing someone that I was a god. This person then went on to try to make it seem like I was, you know, don't let her get started on roasting me because she's going to get on me and da-da-da. And see, that's what I'm saying. These people play this game in other people's lives. These people play this game where they keep on, you know, manipulating other people's lives, putting themselves in other people's lives, trying to make themselves the center of someone else's attention. They want you to talk about them. You know, they know that bad attention is better than no attention at all. So they just keep on tagging me and stuff. I don't know why they're tagging me in this stuff. Like, I don't care. I don't care what false narrative you put out there about me. I don't care what lies you put out there about me. You can say I'm Uncle Fester. You can say all of that stuff. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And just so y'all know, like, I just want to give y'all a little reminder of what their game plan was from the beginning. Excellent news unfolding. Oh, excellent news unfolding under the Aquarius sky. That's what you're saying? Wonderful things happen under the Aquarius sky. Yeah, a lot of great things are happening right now. If you open your eyes to it, you can see it. You got to open that third eye. You got to open all three of your eyes. All three of your eyes must be open in order to see the great things that's happening. You know, perception. And that's why I want to go back. I want to take you guys back to Maggie's original conversation that I pointed out. You know, they were supposed to get their numbers up and they were supposed to take people out off the, YouTube streets. They were supposed to be ganging up and getting their numbers up and then attacking certain pages. That was their plan from the beginning. We pointed that out way back in December. We pointed this out way back in December. And we wanted people to understand that this is the game that they're playing on here. This whole lineup thing.
Setting the West, as I said, the goal is to get to everybody. Just we're gonna get to 10K, then we're gonna move on up like the Jeffersons, and then we're gonna get them up out of here.
Oh yeah, especially 82. Do not. They can all go away. They're such a disgrace.
The thumbnail that 82 has been using with Jag's picture, that picture is copywritten by Jag, and I struck him for that, and YouTube still let him run with it. So that's why I say it's deeper. I'm not gonna say too much.
See what I'm saying?
Just understand.
So you got to understand, if someone made this plan all the way back in December, and you're watching this person not stray away from the plan, then you have to ask yourself, is this still the plan? Because you're watching the plan and you're listening to them plan it. You're listening to them plan it. This is not AI. This is not AI, right? Look at the dates on this. December 23rd, before their Christmas special, before their fallout, their fake fallout at that. That's why 5 months later, they're still talking about that fallout, because it was all scripted. She never went after Jag. She still kept going after the same people that she was going after, the people that was pointing out Jag's lies, right? And this is what they said. How do you think it's possible that she's live on her 86.K page? Well, she lost some followers, so it's 85 something now. But how do you think she was able to go live on that 85.6K page? Huh? She told y'all that she wasn't able to go live on that page no more. She told us she didn't even know how to get into that page anymore because it had so many copyrights that she couldn't go live from that page. Now, all of a sudden, she's live from that page. Oh.
Like you're at 6K, 7K, setting the West, as I said. The goal is to get to everybody. Just we're gonna get to 10K, then we're gonna move on up like the Jeffersons, and then we're gonna get them up out of here.
Oh yeah, especially 82. Do not. They can all go away. They're such a disgrace.
I just wanted y'all to hear it from the rabbit's mouth. I wanted y'all to hear it from her mouth. Y'all keep on making it seem like everybody else is attacking her. Y'all keep on making it seem like everybody is attacking Maggie. Let's listen to some of the things that Maggie said. This is why I say they're playing in our face. Look at the panel, right? Look at the panel, right? This person, family, is part of a pedophilia ring. This person used to work for the Mexican mafia, which we know is a part of trafficking, right? These two people right here just look like they don't mean no good. Look at the evil. Look at the evil. This looks like a panel full of evil. And listen to what they're saying. This is why I say they playing in my face. Listen to what Maggie says. We're all powerful white women.
We're learning. We're all powerful women and white. We're all white powerful women.
See? We're all powerful women and white. We're all white powerful women. Look at Ron.
I get it. Okay, and you're even having a
Yeah,
nigga
don't
daughter.
forget my status.
Listen to what Jaguar Wright say.
My white status. Tax time is coming.
You know how cringe that is. You know how cringe it is.
Listen to what Ron says.
When Gachi's like, oh, I'm white now. I'm sitting here dying inside. I'm dying inside every time she
Wait a
says
minute
that.
though. She was called white by a fake Jamaican.
Oh, I know. I know the lore. I know the lore. It's just honestly, I just love you guys. I'm sorry that this problem was created because we're all awesome together. Not sorry, actually.
You see? And you tell me these people are about unity? You tell.
And we literally been pointing this out. Like, even if you go back into what we've been showing y'all about her, we literally been pointing all of this out. All the games that they're playing, all the grifting, right? Right? When Ronnie Bo was sending out text messages like this,
trying to say.
When Ronnie Bo was sending out text messages asking for $40 with a text now number, getting everybody's email, we knew what was going on. We were pointing it out. They got mad at us, did some type of reversal scheme, try to make it seem like we were doing the stuff that they were doing because we were calling them out on their bullshit. Literally.
Bro, that's what you finna say next. I want to hear these mainstream dudes. You be up there, Cam Capone, talking about ain't nobody gonna question me. Nigga, I'm questioning you because you mentioned the wrong nigga that's family to me, and my mans them don't know you, bro.
Did you watch the interview?
And this is how they continue to escape the cosmic law, right? They take their problems and put it on you. They make you out to be the monster that they are. Thus far, they escape the cosmic law of karma, and you get their karma. So they got to find more and more people to rub their karma off on. So they got to find more and more people to manipulate. They got to find more and more people to sell their souls. They got to corrupt more and more people. You ever wonder why negative is begotten negative? You ever wonder why drunk people are getting famous? You ever wonder why mentally disturbed people are put in positions to get a bunch of money? You ever wonder why Hollywood is so corrupted and the youth of Hollywood, half the people that's in Hollywood didn't even raise their youth. They just thought that the idea of having a baby was going to bring them more traction, more people, a different breed of audience. Half of the people that's in Hollywood don't even run their own life. Their life is ran by management or a PR team that's telling them what they think is good for the public. They don't even choose their own relationships. They get in relationships what's good for the image. Half of their relationships is fake based off imagery. Behind closed doors, they doing abominable things. Let's be honest. And here we are, thinking that we got a chance to be a part of the elites. No, they already got people handpicked coming from the fucking islands that they're training them on. Are you not paying attention? Maggie. I told you, Maggie, you might want to leave me alone, right? I told you that. Why you think so many people was with Aaliyah at the age of 14 and 15? At the age of 14 and 15, you watch Aaliyah go from R. Kelly, right? Then she was with Dame Dash, right? She was at the Diddy parties, laid up in the bed with all of them that was laid up in the bed. Kanye West mimicked the video and put all them people in the bed as a joke, and they banned his video. Y'all don't remember? So much stuff about to come out during this Diddy trial. They might have to put Diddy on the witness protection program. You hear me? Diddy might have to go on the witness protection program. Once they start naming all the people that's involved, man, they've been playing Pokemon this whole time with real people. They out here on some gotta catch 'em all type shit. with 150 of all to see. To be a Pokemon master is my destiny. These motherfuckers is out here. They is doing us unjust. And then you got the Magis out here that's grifting off of us, right? She been had this page. Paula had her set up this page, this 86.2K page, right? Paula Ben gave her StreamYard. She had StreamYard 6 months before she came to the Jaguar right sector, right? So when she came to the Jaguar right sector and grifted for that $800, that was fraudulent schemes, right? So she was already performing fraudulent acts. She was already blackmailed into the system. The 86.2K page, the reason why her numbers are the same on there is because they're fake numbers. They're not real numbers, right? So that's why she wasn't live on the 86.6K page. She got a page that got more followers than Jaguar, but she was on this no name page, making it seem like she had to start all over. But as soon as that page go down, all of a sudden, she's back on the 86. I said, don't let me start digging and looking up stuff for you. Right? Atlas, download the video screenshots. What do you mean? What do you mean download the video screenshot? So look, Maggie. This a whole page that you was on, sponsored by everything. This page was made for you. Huh? This was made for you.
To be able to stream on StreamYard.
Look at this page, Maggie. It literally says, let's go into detail. Let's click on the details of this, right? This is you, right, Maggie? Welcome to the Wise Black Owl. As a wise black man, just so you know, as you can see, Maggie always had that page. It already had, the numbers on there. And you know why? Like, this is one of the main reasons why we fuck with Danny Robinson, Danny Montana, because she stands with integrity, right? All these people keep going against her page. She's still making phone calls to the police office. She's still reporting things that she seem, out of whack. She's reporting the kids that's missing. She's doing her due diligence, making the phone calls when she hear about suspicious activity. This person was unjust by the police, or it seemed like something funny was happening. She's doing all of that. Maggie's not doing nothing but drinking Jack Daniels and smoking pre-rolls in her dirty ass kitchen, right? At least Danny's actually putting the work in to get justice done on the front end and the back end. So when you got people like that coming against the page, and you think Maggie was the first person that came against the page, Chris Todd Ben said that he was trying to get Maggie's page taken down. Let's go back to February or January.
Again, my last question for the both of you is very simple. I would like to invite the both of you to come and sit with me.
Hold on, that's not the right one with Chris Todd making the threats. I think that's on my TikTok. I got so many of them spread around. I think that's on my TikTok where Chris Todd was making the threats, saying that he was going to get Danny Robinson page taken down. So yeah, as you can see, just based off of my Instagram alone, right? As you can see, based off of my Instagram alone, we have been pointing out all of their fuckery, just based off of my Instagram alone. AT2, what's going on with you? Appreciate you for stopping through. Hey, man, you hear this madness? The not talking about I convinced this woman that I was a god and all of this other stuff and that she needed to support me. Where is he getting his storylines from? Where is he writing this shit? Like, where is he getting this from? Like, is he coming up with this shit himself? Or is he really like, he got a team behind him putting together folklores or some shit? Like, where is he getting this from? It's just weird that somebody just make up all of this shit about your life just to make their self feel interesting. It's just weird to me that he's making up so much. He just sent me a text from a different number. He sent me an email from another. I mean, he's just sent me a text message from another number. And I know it's him because it's a 917 number. And the photos was of Mrs. Stell, I guess, sending him emails, an email to Donat. It says, and for the record, the bear is way too cute and healthy looking. He looks like a Negro, whatever the fuck she's saying, Uncle Fester, a Negroid Uncle Fester. Like, so why is she sending him these emails so he can further entice somebody that stood up for her integrity when she's not even standing up for her own integrity? It's just weird to me that they want me to play this little weird game of theirs. You know what I mean? It's very delusional of them to keep on interfering with somebody else's life and then make it seem like that person is interfering with their life. That's weird. I never seen nobody do that. You don't got the messages? He sent it to me on the text, on the phone with a phone number. I'm going to put them in the Discord. This shit is weird. Like, I'm so like, I'm at this point, like, I'm kind of like weirded out about these characters. Like, I'm kind of like at that point, I'm like at that point where it's just like, what the fuck? I'm gonna try to send them to you, but I don't know how to send them to you via email. So I'm gonna put them in the petty pocket of the Discord. I don't know if you're in the Discord, but I'm gonna put them in a petty pocket. I stopped talking about them for a while. Like, I wasn't. Yes, occasionally, but that's because look at what they're doing. They're trying to reinvigorate the conversation so they can rewrite history. Like, you can't rewrite a history we was all present for. We all remember the history of what the fuck took place. How the fuck is you rewriting that history? And he's sending me emails like, yo, I mean, text messages. Why is this dude still sending me text messages? Why is the Donat still sending me text messages? That shit's weird. I mean, this shit just came through my phone today. This is as of today. This is not old. This motherfucker sent that shit 2:00 today. This harassment is not old. Them sending my phone text messages. This ain't old. Look. This is 2:38 today. This is 2:38 today. He's sending me this. 2:38 today. He's sending me this. Why? Why? For what? You know what I mean? For what? You see the timestamp on there is 2:38 today. That means I don't know what I did, man. I don't know why these people can't get over me. I don't know what type of appeal. Is it the crystals? Is it the crystal talk? What the fuck got these people obsessed with me like this? I ain't never seen nothing like it. It's weird. Cause she said that I'm the hand from Adam's family. Like, the disembodied hand from Adam's family is Ralph's teeth, going around spreading lies and causing chaos, pretending to be benevolent. Better quit playing with me, because when I have time, I have it. But yeah, I'm deep in my bag. So toodles. Do this person not know I literally got all of the text messages? Like I will come with receipts. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm so skeptical of new people now, because this is weird. Like, every time I try to open the door to build around this, to build, to put the knowledge out there, to get the right people involved, I get these type of people. She's not the only one I ran across. Y'all see what type of people I get when I go on TikTok live. Y'all see the type of people that comes into the live and start, you know, doing all of that weird shit. We try our best to reach a level of understanding with them, but we're not going to be pleasing to everybody's feelings and emotions, and we know that. You know what I mean? A real 60K view video would have had way more comments and stuff on there than that. 20 people that commented on that shit is probably the 20 people that's in on a little siphon circle bullshit. Is it foreplay or a virtual freak off? Well, let me know shit so I can act accordingly. I didn't even dress for the occasion. Is it a white tie event? What the fuck am I supposed to wear? Huh? Let me know what the fuck going on so I could properly prepare. I feel like I'm unprepared for a test. I didn't even know what's happening. I didn't even bring no baby oil. To me, it's just weird and abstract. Like this could be labeled as like cruel and unusual punishment if there was, you know, whatever. But this is unusual. I mean, this dude is sending my phone. He's sending messages from different phone numbers to me, like, and I know it's him because it's the same phone number from the last time. You know? But I don't know. I don't know what type of game he wants to play. I know it's to get me to talk about him, but for what? If they are already so much bigger than me, if they don't worry about the small content creators, why do they want me to talk about them? Who keeps on disturbing someone's life just to make their self relevant? That type of action needs to be studied in a lab somewhere because it's not making sense. You know what I mean? They need content. I get that. Because they really aren't that big. Exactly. They are not as big as they portray themselves to be. They are not. You know, they are not that big. The numbers that they got is fraudulent. That's why you only see number spikes at a certain time of the fucking month. The numbers that they got is fraudulent. The video looks at that they got fraudulent. It's all fake image. They go to a site. Pretty much they go to a site and that site allows them to purchase numbers. And then they purchase those numbers and then they make it seem like they got these numbers and then they really just grifting for the little bit of people that they do got. It's all fraudulent. We're going to keep grinding ours the authentic way, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. If we stumble across a viral video, we stumble across a viral video. But we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing. I know I got to make more videos about the farm, more videos about the help that I can use on the farm, the people, you know what I mean? Bringing more people to the table. TikTok, we're going to reset. Our numbers are dropping out, so we're going to reset. I know I did that when I just tried to do that whole putting that shit in the Discord, froze up my screen. Yeah, man, listen. They say that, that's why I say a lot of stuff is being, blocked out or censored, because they said that, Detroit, apparently a bunch of cell phones got hacked in Detroit or in Michigan, and they said that there was a message that was on the cell phones that said the Anunnakis are here, and that goes back to Sumerian texts, and that's why I keep on trying to point out the reference to um Babylon being Mystery America and so on and so forth, so that way people can get the understanding of what it is that's taking place and why we are experiencing so many different variations of personas down here. Because these people are not in control of their own vessels. There's energies, there's forces that's moving inside your body that's in control of you. Maggie's going to spend the next 2 weeks trying to uh attack people's pages. She said that in 2 weeks everybody's, like, basically she said we're all going to go down together in 2 weeks. So she said for the next 2 weeks you can go listen to it at the end of her last live. She said for the next 2 weeks we will be live and then we will all die together. So whatever she's doing on the back end, she's doing some espionage shit on the back end. You know what I mean? Right. I've been teaching this whole time about the Anunnakis, and I've been teaching this whole time about Sumerian gods being back. Even did the live about Zachariah Stitchens and everything. And now all of a sudden, people's phones are getting hacked with the same message saying that the Anunnakis has returned. Come on. I'm trying to prepare us for it. You know, I'm trying to get us prepared for it. You know what I mean? You guys are looking at it as ironic. You guys are trying to put the fear on it, put all of this other stuff on it. And I'm telling y'all, like, yo, peace be still. These people ain't the whatever notion or storyline that you put on the return of, like, yo, nah, that's not what they here for. They could have been fucked us over if they wanted to fuck us over, if they wanted to do something of that magnitude, if they wanted to harm us, they could have been did that shit. The Anunnakis, the Sumerian gods, they not about to return to fuck to mess some stuff up. Like we the ones that put fear out there. We the ones that got everybody running around scared. We the ones that think everything is a threat. We the ones. You know your mind play games on you. So imagine in the world what's happening. If your mind play games on you, you ever sit something down someplace and swear that you said it there, and really you forgot that you moved it somewhere else? Y'all know y'all be hiding stuff from yourself. Don't act like y'all don't be out there hiding stuff from yourself, right? So however you looking at this, there's greater things that's taking place in this universe, you know? And the Anunnakis, when they return, you won't know it. They last week they said in 2 weeks, that means we got one more week, right? Last week they said that in 2 weeks the planet Anubaru will be visible. You will be able to see it, the 9th planet, right? And the reason why they call it the 9th planet now is because they're saying Pluto is not a planet. Pluto is actually a dwarf planet. Therefore, Pluto don't count as a planet. So therefore, that would make the planet Anubaru the 9th planet instead of planet X, or the 10th planet of our solar system. And they're saying that they saying next week you'll be able to see that planet. Now, that planet has a plasma field around it, whatever the case may be. So it might come in as a shimmer or some type of, you might think it's a reflection or a shadow of the sun, or I don't know what. Your mind's going to make up whatever the hell it wants to make up, when they start seeing it or showing it or whatever the case may be. But it's okay. They're the zombies are the subconscious people, the people that are not, fully conscious, fully awakened. They are the zombies, the people that walk around in ignorance and acting like it's not more to this world than the physical, even though there's 70% of this land that we have not seen, oceans and seas, so on and so forth. The zombies are the people that are just, functioning, going to work. I gotta go to work. I gotta do corporate America stuff. I gotta, we changed the name and now we call them, corporal people, like you're a company man, so on and so forth. Those are the zombies, the people that's doing everything to kiss the ass of corporate America. And even though they know corporate America, how you working for corporate America, saying this, that, and the third, and like a lot of stuff in this world just don't make sense. Like, but kudos to America, for doing everything that it's been doing. Kudos to all the other countries for sticking it out, however they've been sticking it out, right? But we're in a time of change right now. There's a lot of stuff that's about to happen that's going to change everything, right? And of course, the easiest thing for them to do right now is to fake like we're in war. If something has returned, then they'll fake like we're like, oh, they're at war. Da, 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 da. All right. So instead of allowing the Anunnakis to return, they'll fake like it's a war in the Holy Land. Let's say that the Anunnakis planned on returning back to Iran and Iraq, right? They'll fake like it's a war over there in Iran and Iraq just so we can think they're going to war, but really they shooting shit at the Anunnaki and stuff like that. Like, man, the world is really one big stage. That's all you got to remember. All you got to remind yourself. You know what I mean? The world is one big stage. For entertainment purposes only, allegedly, supposedly, we exist, for, we're just one big thing of play toys. You know how you used to play with your GI Joes back in the day, and you'll grab your GI Joes, or you set up your characters or whatever back in the day. You got your GI Joe characters or whatever, and you put up the storyline for them, and you're like, we're going to take over this, and da 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 da, and then you put them in motion. You know what I mean? You give them character, you put them in motion. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say, like, on a grander scale, there's energies playing with us like that. Sometimes you don't even know it. You don't even know it. You so consumed by the concept of fear. You got to eat to survive. You got to eat to survive. So a lot of y'all are heavily over compacted with food, keeping your digestive system in a false operation. So you're not going to sleep with an empty stomach. So a lot of y'all are not getting the downloads that I'm getting. You know what I mean? I eat one meal a day, preferably in the middle of the day. So by the end of the night, I'm damn near starving when I go to sleep. But it keeps me, it gives me the energy that I need, though. I literally get up 6 o'clock in the morning, don't go to bed until about 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock, and then I'm back up at 6. And I eat one meal a day. I'm not losing any weight. I'm not, faltering. Once I start this workout regimen, I will get back, bulk again, or whatever y'all want to call it. I'm still cut up. You know what I mean? Like I'm in shape. I'm in the best shape of my life. I rarely have joint pains in my knees and stuff. Now, of course, if I bend this motherfucking back over for too long, it's going, crank up. You know how you stand up and you're like, ugh. Damn, I felt it did that. But as far as muscle mass go, I didn't lose any muscle. I try to take in a high level of fructose instead of glucose. Everything is changing. Like, I didn't really understand my digestive system, all of that stuff. Exactly. Toothpaste. Rewrite that shit in the comment section again and post it again. How is a 80K sub page not monetized? Huh? Let me put this on the screen for y'all to see. Right there. Wait, it's not showing. Why is it not showing? I want to be a part of the beta program. Beta me up. Beta me up, some of my muck. How is an 80K sub page not monetized? Because it's not real. YouTube recognized that some of these pages got fake subs on them. When YouTube look at her page, they don't see 80K subs. Huh? They see duplicates. That's why when you get monetized on YouTube, they send that thing to your address and they say, we wanted to make sure that no fraudulent schemes was coming from this household. I don't know if these people really read like the guidelines or any of this stuff. I don't know if people really read that stuff. I really be reading that stuff. So like, cause my dad told me, you know, don't put your name or sign nothing that you ain't read yourself. So a lot of this stuff I be reading. And when you get monetized on YouTube, they ask you, you know, and they make sure, you know. Now, of course, we're still going through our beginning stage of monetization. So we don't know how the payout is yet. We don't know if they send you something and say, you know, what direct deposit, whatever the case may be. We don't know that yet because this is our first month, like fully and officially, even though we technically applied back in March. We didn't get there until May. But now we monetized on YouTube. TikTok, you hear that, TikTok? We are monetized on YouTube. We are now content creators on YouTube. Make sure y'all go over to Ralph DaWise on YouTube. Grand afternoon, Smoke. What's going on with you? I wanted you to be a part of the panel too. So you definitely make sure you go over to Ralph DaWise on YouTube so I can give you my stream lab so you can come up on a panel, because I want to put a panel together of, you know, conversationists, people that know how to hold conversation, knows how to understand, listen to other people, right? And then adequately respond with proper discernment. I'm running across a few people that can do that. And it's about being able to hold the conversation. Yes, we don't all have the same opinion of things. Yes, none of us are in the same mindset. You know what I mean? But we're here together, so why not understand the world together? Let me understand it from your perspective, and allow me to give you my perspective of understanding, you know, so you can understand why I don't cater to my own feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions have led me to trouble. Every time I cater to my own feelings and emotions, because I'm so caring, because I'm so forgiving, because I'm so generous, because I'm so nice, it leads me down the wrong path because people are able to manipulate my feelings and emotions. So I put my feelings and emotions in a box, and I only choose to give them to certain personas. So I got to have proper discernment when it comes to who I give my feelings and emotions to, because it's not good to give everybody your feelings and emotions. Some people don't mean right by your feelings and emotions. You ever been around somebody and it seemed like they were pissing you off on purpose? You know how agitated that makes you to know somebody's insulting your intelligence and pissing you off on purpose? Like, ooh. So man, listen, I bossed that shit up quick. Huh? I bossed that shit up quick. You hear me? Get in that box. Get your ass in that box. Oh, in my mind, I be telling my feelings and emotions, get your ass in that box. Say, shit. I had to stop watching stuff on TV. I found myself crying too much. I was watching little shows and shit. I have something that happened. I'll be feeling my motherfucking, you know, you get the breathing and shit. I don't know what the fuck. It's just a TV show. I know, but it's so sad. That's why I ain't watched that Tyler Perry shit that he came out with. That's why I ain't watched that. That's why I ain't watched that shit. For real, because I know my triggers. You know what I'm saying? I know if I'm crying at the Lion King, I know damn well I'm not prepared. You get to sucking that bottom lip in. You ever had one of them cries where you get to sucking the... Y'all remember them cries where snot running down your nose and you get to sucking in the bottom? I don't even watch Homeward Bound no more. Like, I'm so, like, I get, like, I'm heavy on emotions. That's why I don't give them. That's why y'all see me so guarded. Y'all be thinking like, oh, he's paranoid. He's this. He's that. I'm just not about to let y'all manipulate my feel. I know what it is. You got to have emotional intelligence down here. I'm trying to be very selective of who I open up my feelings and emotions to, because some of y'all don't mean right by everybody's, for real. For real. If I told y'all I was afraid of the dark, half of y'all would be trying to throw me in a dark room. That's why I don't be telling people certain things. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And I ain't on no fake it till you make it type time either. Like, I'm really trying to, understand other people in this world. Like, that's why the universe gives me so much knowledge, is because I'm really trying to understand. You ever sat down and had a conversation and said, God, I really want to know you, but then he puts your life in trials and tribulations and closed certain doors, so you have to sit down and search for him? Y'all ain't never really had no conversation with the universe. You ain't never really go to the universe and ask the universe for a way to help everybody. When I finally ascended, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I got up there and I'm sitting there and I'm like, and they looking at me and I'm looking at them. And they like, what can I do you for? I'm like, can you just give me a better way to help people understand? That's all I asked for. I just want a better way to help people understand. And then I was sent back down here with the ability to articulate shit properly. And now everybody act like they don't want to understand shit. So you mean to tell me now that the ability to articulate shit is here, y'all don't want to know it? Oh my goodness, this shit is going to be hard. I had to go back up there to the universe. Like, why you give me this motherfucking impossible task? Because that's how I talk to the universe. Me and the universe got a grand understanding of this. I don't bite my tongue with the universe, and the universe don't bite the tongue with me. So when I got back up there, I was like, why the fuck you give me this impossible task? You know damn well this is a conundrum. I can't get people out of this shit if I try. People don't want to understand this shit. They want money. They want riches. The universe looked at me and laughed. You know why the universe looked at me and laughed? Because I signed up for this shit. We all signed up for this shit. You wanted to be a hell diver? Well, welcome to hell. And the body that you in is the vessel that you dove in. And now we got to put this into a oneness. Not a physical force of oneness, because we can't ascend like that. No one can be forced to do it. One has to be willing to put the knowledge back in order to ascend. And they're doing it all wrong. If they thought 3 world wars was going to scare us into a one world power, they're wrong. The one world power is understanding that we're all in it together. The one world power is understanding we all have the right to our own thinking properties. The one world power is coming into a collective notion that we are one, and we don't have to all think as one to be one. I don't have to have your same thought pattern. I don't have to have your same thought process. I don't even have to use the same roads that you use to get there. As long as I get there. Your time is not my time. My time is not your time. You can rush to the finish line and I can take my easy time. But guess what? We're all going to be in the winning circle. Why? Because it's written. Go back and read the book. What about those people over there? You don't remember that conversation? What about those people over there? Don't worry about them. They'll see the promised land too. That's what made us corrupt, is because once God told us that those people were going to see the promised land too, we was like, fuck it. Well, we might as well do what the fuck they do. And then we got caught up doing what the Canaanites was doing. Now we more carnal than anything. Everybody's down here is not the same. That's why when my body started talking to me and telling me what to not put in it, what I listened. I was like, hold on, you want this? Okay, you want some fruit? Okay. You know what I mean? And my body was like greens, vegetables, so on and so forth. I listened. When I had reactions to certain things, when things was disagreeable in my digestive system, I didn't put it in there no more. If I'm producing a high level of waste, something ain't right. There's no way your body should be producing that much waste if it's getting the stuff that it needs. If it's using all of the nutrients and stuff that you're putting in it, how are you shitting 3 times a day? How? That means you're not eating the right stuff. I mean, your body is like, can't use this, can't use that, can't use that. Tomatoes only on Taco Tuesdays. Y'all are terrible. Y'all are terrible. You only give your body tomatoes and lettuce on Taco Tuesday. You terrible. You got to eat all that nasty cardboard shell and all of that fake meat only to get your body don't know what the hell going on. Y'all ain't giving the body the right things. Your digestive system, it was a time that we held that sacred. It was a time that you wasn't even allowed to swallow. You just chewed the food up and took the juices in and you spit the rest of the shit out. Y'all don't even remember that. You know why you don't remember? Because you ain't tied to your Akashic records. You know why you ain't tied to your Akashic records? Because you don't want to believe Kundalini energy is inside of you and the serpent coils up the base of your spine in order to have an ascension process. And y'all ain't fighting none of that stuff inside of yourself. Y'all ain't out here trying to be kinder to each other. Y'all ain't out here doing everything in your power to be at peace with. Some of y'all let language barriers stop y'all from getting to know one another. Soon as somebody come and say, ¿Cómo está? Oh man, get out of here, man. We don't even speak the same. Man, learn some of that shit. Muy bien. Y tú. Learn some shit. Adios míos. Cállate la boca, puta. Ooh. I promise y'all, man, it's a wonderful world when you start learning the stuff that stops us from reaching each other. It's a more beautiful world when you learn the stuff that stop us from reaching each other. I mean, you ain't got to do the shit that the animals do, but it's better when we connect with one another. The serpent eats itself because it coils at the base of the spine. But during the time of Aquarius, the serpent will no longer eat its tail, but will coil up the spinal cord. That was a part of the descension process. So the Kundalini energy, and this goes back to St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day was not a day about drinking. St. Patrick's Day was a reference to the slaughter of those who believed in the Kundalini energy. They celebrated life around the 1st of April because that was when spring came in. Anyone who still celebrated that was considered to be a fool, thus far marking April 1st as April Fool's Day. So this is why all of these stories is put in place, is because it's a deeper story behind it, right? They celebrated, 12 days to the new year. Right now, we're in our 13th lunar cycle. Ironically, the Mayans calendar also counts back 13 because the Mayans calendar is not a calendar. It is a map of the galaxy. And if you count back 13 zodiac signs from Aries, you will end up at the foot of Hercules, what is considered to be the entry point to the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate is a reincarnation center. So if you reincarnate through the Golden Gate, you reincarnate through the gate of the god. This is why Hercules was able to challenge the god, because he found the entrance to Olympus, thus far challenging the gods and becoming a demigod, right? This is the story of Hercules. This is why they put the Golden Gate at Hercules' foot. This is why in the Mediterranean Sea, the statue of Hercules marked the entry point. As above, so below, as without, so within. So we already depicted this as the spot of the Golden Gate. That's why they took down Hercules' statue in Mesopotamia, or at the head of the Mesopotamia Sea. And you can look this up in history because that's a historical fact. You want to talk about it? because down here we etched out what was already in the sky. We already had the story of the sky. We lost it. Why do you think Hercules holds on to the serpent's tail? The Draconian constellation, the longest constellation in the sky. Hercules holds that tail. That's why Hercules got through, beat Medusa. That's why the story was there. That's why the Hercules story was there. And in the sky right now, Hercules holds the longest constellation in the sky, which is literally Draco, the Draconian constellation. If you look into the Draconian constellation, it is considered one of the 88 constellations that wraps around the Orion belt. In 1995, we had a big blackout. No one remembers it. But as soon as we came out of the blackout, guess what movies came out? Terminator. Go look at the timeline. Terminator came out. You know what else came out? Men in Black came out. You don't remember that? Some of y'all still going through blackouts. Can't even remember. Y'all sitting here arguing over a history that you wasn't even here for, and you can't even remember what happened 30 years ago. Some of y'all can't even remember what happened 2 years ago. Some of y'all can't even remember what happened with last week, but you arguing over something that happened over 3,000 plus years ago. Make that shit make sense. You didn't even remember what you ate for breakfast, but you arguing about what Christ did when he was here. None of y'all make nothing in this world make sense. And y'all want the people that's actually trying to make sense of it to walk around blind like y'all already doing. No, I'm not putting no blinders back on. I'm not doing it. This shit is not making sense. I need shit to make sense. Truth Pace. Come on, man. I need shit to make sense. Yes, Hercules emerged from Mesopotamia, but in the sky, at the foot of Hercules, lies the 13th constellation, which is Eucharistus, or your. I got it. Hold on. Let me go look at the name of it. I never can pronounce this shit. Some of them. It ain't working. My tongue ain't working. Boss, it ain't working. Y'all remember this history. That's why y'all got fragments of it in y'all mind. Larry B, what up with you? That's why it's fragments of it. The Bible don't say not to use astrology because the Bible is astrology. Look in the Bible, it tells you about astrology. So you can't say the Old Testament is nothing but astrology, agriculture, everything like that. Why do you think in the winter solstice, the sun leaves for 3 days and then come back? Why do you think that happens? What takes place in the Bible? God leaves for Jesus leaves for 3 days and then returns, right? Well, during the winter time, the sun is the furthest away from the earth. It leaves for 3 days and then come back. So before you try to jump the gun and make it seem like, oh, astrology is blasphemous, maybe you need to study that book a little bit better. I'm just saying. You can't talk about it and not talk about it at the same time. I'm just saying. Those two things just don't go together. It's like you're talking about it, but then you're telling me not to talk about it. But you're talking about it without talking about it. Huh? Come on. We could do better. The Bible is full of Greek mythology. Greek mythology is full of, the sky, all types of stuff like that. Go back to the Orion Wars. Go study the Orion Wars. You'll get some deep stuff out of that if you just study the Orion Wars. The Wars of Orion, however you want to look at it. That goes back to the Orion Belt. And that's why you got to have a service to others instead of a service to self. You just got to have a service to others instead of a service to self, and you're going to be good. Oh, I got you, Smoke. Come on up. I got you. You my tag team partner and all of this shit. We're going to grow your account and my account. Get your ass up here, Smoke. But this is like, this goes back to like stationary identity. I mean, you really got to go like study the gates of Lyra. We all was there for it. You just don't remember it. The history of it is broken up into different fragments that's spaced out through the timeline of the membrane of mankind. So we all like remember it. That's why that dude was able to sell us the story of Star Trek, you know, and that's why Star Wars sells so big, you know, because we all remember this shit. It's just in different pieces. Like, you know, we all remember a Kal-El. We all remember of sending something special down here in the vessel of a man. And that's where the story of Superman comes from. Like, we remember this shit. We just... Smoke, what's going on with you?
Let me unmute my brother. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all the listeners out there. Thank you for bringing me up. I just wanted to give you some clarification on that word, how to pronounce it, so everybody on your stream can understand what the word is. And it's a difficult word explaining that last constellation. But give me 1 second. I'll pull back up because now I forgot.
Hold on, give me a second. That's why I say, like, every time I go back and look it up all the time, but hold on, I'm about to 12 shield Christos. See, if you go by the Hebrew word, it's longer than... All right, hold on. Let's go to Chris.
Okay, sorry about that. Ophiuchus.
Yes, Ucarifis. Yes.
On YouTube. I guess you got a few variations on pronunciation.
You for Christus.
It sounds all right to me. I don't know how it sounds.
You for Christus. It's you for Christus. You for your Chris. You. That's the word, man. You for Christus. I don't know. But we know what we're talking about. But that sits at the foot of Hercules, the beginning of that constellation. And that is considered to be the 13th that put the 12 together. That's the story of Christ. That's the story of Benjamin. That's the story of Hercules. That's the story of it's been repeated throughout the timelines.
And that's why in modern society today, they have the 13 as being a bad number. No 13 floor is an unlucky number. It's not. It's a creation number. It's a number for all.
Exactly.
13, if you go back through history.
Exactly.
12 disciples and Jesus as the 13th. Like you said, 13 constellations. 13 zodiac signs. We count Draconis and all that. And
right.
Yeah, it's a repeating number that has came up over and over again, which has been made to look bad by the powers to be that are running the sheep.
And that's why if you look up Bethlehem, the word Beth means house, and then ham means bread, and it's house of bread. And your bread basket was considered to be your stomach, and that's why a baker gives you a 13 as a mystery dozen, as a baker's dozen, because you have to go through the fire in order to become one. That's why 12 inches equals 1 foot.
Very true, and that's another good thing. I mean, we can't say that there's a 13th dimension. I mean, granted, if we go back into beliefs like sacred geometry, 12-dimensional spaces, I mean, in string theory, there's 10 space dimensions in one time. I mean, a lot of the things with the sacred geometry, and one thing that I just have as a personal belief, unproven, I haven't done it mathematically or had anybody do it mathematically, actually looked into it. But on a dodecahedron, which is 12-dimensional, which they assume could possibly be the shape of the universe, blah, blah, blah. There's a 13th dimension that nobody sees, and it's a 13th dimension that intersects them all. I mean, granted, it's in a certain circles, but one that surrounds it all.
But if we was to go that mathematical, we would actually have to go back to a Dewey Decimal System as opposed to the system of what we might go by today. And then in that Dewey Decimal System, we would have to put it in increments of 60 according to the Sumerian gods. Our whole mathematic equation is off.
It's something that's easier to comprehend by the masses, because basically this plane that we're on, was easier to sell. I hate to using lack of a better term, especially nowadays. The easier it is to sell using the past of why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix. This system was designed a long time ago to entrap the minds of all those that don't understand or didn't have the capability to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So okay, we understand the trap. We understand what's placed there with the lack of knowledge being in the world, right? And we know that the universe put a fail safe there that said that if consciousness was ever to drop down past a certain level, ether would be put back into this world. But now that we have ether being put back into this world, and this goes back to Nicholas Tesla 369, they left out the 12. This goes back to the power of manifestation. This goes back to even if you go back and look at the polar shift, a polar shift would have to take place inside of us also, right?
I agree with you there. It would have to take place inside of us. If the universe, the planet's magnetic fields are changing, and obviously we all produce a magnetic field from our own system, it would make sense that we would change along with the planet we inhabited.
So we would experience a polar shift inside of ourselves also. And if that polar shift also has a story of a flood, then inside of us a flood will take place also.
And metaphorical says yes, it would make sense. Like I agree with what your conclusions were and your understanding of the flood story that you were trying to get off the other day. A lot of the stuff that's in that book is not necessarily talking about physical places or physical things. Regardless if the fossil record shows that there was floods, I'm not trying to say or deny the life cycles of the earth in certain situations coming up. I am saying if a book for spirituality is designed like that, it's obviously not talking about anything outside of yourself. Because where is the spirit located? Inside of yourself. The hidden teachings of Jesus, the kingdom of heaven is inside of you. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, on a grander scale, we cannot fathom the levels of things put in place to block out this level of knowledge. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. And there's a lot to it. I'm not going to go in depth right now. But when we get on the other channel and stuff, we're at a time when I have a little more time. and we can talk about it maybe a little bit prior with you and some other people that are going to be on the panel.
Okay.
I'll explain some things, and you all can let me know if I can even say it.
Okay. Okay.
Before you know what I mean. Before I put it on live content.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have a back end conversation first, because there is a lot of stuff that we cannot speak on, and it ain't even about whether we can't. I don't think it's the time. I think they have created a certain lineup of disclosure, and they're trying to bring it out within a 7-year span. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, they're definitely getting closer. Like, if you can read the signs, like I can see on both sides of the veil, I'm privileged for whatever reason it is. I just understand it. Don't know how I understand it. Don't know where it came from. Didn't know it before, but I got it. It's cold. And they're slowly breaking to the population and trying to do a change. I will give them that. There is effort being made both in the digital environment and also in the material world out here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, I'm noticing both of the changes that's taking place. Like you said, it is a gift and a curse to be able to see into multiverses of oneself and others, and even sometimes tapping into other people's pioneers. I usually try to stay away from doing that. That's why I don't practice trauma bonding or any other measures of coercions of the heart. And I'm not talking about the heart as the pumping place, but I'm talking about like the thinking place. When you share your thoughts with people, when you share your inner dialogue with people, it's a very thin line, because people manipulate your inner dialogue. So you can have an inner dialogue with yourself where you might have clotheslined 92 people. But somebody, if you tell somebody on the outside of you that you're clotheslining people in your mind, they're going to try to be like, no, he's trying to clothesline the whole world. And like, what? I told you I was doing that in my mind. I didn't tell you that I was physically doing this shit, but they going to make you, you know what I mean? They're still going to hold you to that. So, it's hard. And I think this is why the biblical text says that your dreams are God's interpretations, because, this book could be written about a world that is of the dream state. The solar flares take place at night. The witching hour is at night. We don't even know about the 12 forces that move at night. I mean, we know about the 12 you see, but we don't know about the 12 you don't see.
I think that in duality and balance, if we break it down, the 12 forces was representation of your conscious mind, and the other 12 would be the subconscious mind. Because the subconscious mind processes information a lot faster than the conscious mind does. It's fact. But, it's also irrational in some aspects of it. So it's balancing, like you were talking about, emotions and logic between your conscious and subconscious, regardless if the main processing power of your brain happens subconsciously.
But that's what I'm saying. We know about the subconscious responses because it is broken down into greed, gluttony, lust, 7 deadly sins, amongst other things that are variations of things that are low vibrational within it, right? Leading all the way up to, feelings and emotions, or whatever we call them now. I think, Solomon might have deemed them the 72 demons of soul of man. But, what about the other 72 that makes up the whole 144? What about the other, if demonic forces also exist, why don't we know about the 72 angelic forces that exist?
I have something for you on this. I got the other equivalent 72 angelic forces here that match the 72 lesser keys and the 36 infernal spirits representing the different pressure points in their body. We can talk about that
later. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that, okay. All right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when people.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you
Okay, like that's why I say when people reach levels of understanding, like it's great to meet other people that are there too, that are doing the study too, because a lot of people don't even know the 72 demons of man come with 72 counterparts of angelic beings. You know what I mean?
It's duality. It's
A lot of people don't know they practice duality within the same negative duality. Like they will depict another one of those lower vibrations as the counterpart. As you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I totally agree. But I'm not saying that. It's about to say the way the universe works, or the mind of God, the will of God, the architect of this place, higher and lower, they balance each other out. They have to. But yeah, you're right. They go for lesser ones or other ones in the same circle of negative. You're absolutely right.
But I like this because the same way that these lower vibrational energies that we keep on building in the houses of ego, if we studied the attributes of the 72 angelic forces, we can change the energies that we are pulling in through these 12 you see and 12 you don't see. But we have to be willing to generate the proper energy from those forces.
I agree with you. And I even got the breakdowns for the time of day, the parts of the weeks, night and day on both the demons and angels at that time, all through all the 12 months.
Does it break it down on based off of continental positioning or geographic positioning? Like if you're on this side, then the time is this, and if you're on that side, the time is that.
I mean, we could probably create a model on the base of this, but this is the base list, and we can get like from the date of origination of it.
We can get
like a picture of the sky, and we can
okay.
break it down that way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That would be a great thing to do too. I mean,
I haven't done that much on it because star patterns change in position, even though ever so slightly. Like I had an argument with somebody the other day, not an argument, but they didn't understand about the pyramids where they lined up, and oh no, it lines up on the Big Dipper. They seen it. I'm like, I just stopped after a few minutes. You know what I mean?
yeah, because our plates are shifting at all times. Even if you look at the North Pole, at one point the North Pole was in Canada. Higher parts of the North Pole is moving all the time. If you look at the positioning of the North Pole and you go back and you look at 1976, where they depicted the North Pole to P, you will see a great shift in the very position of our poles.
And not just with planetary shifting, as far as that, we're constantly moving through the Milky Way. So obviously, shit is getting farther and farther away from us because we're in a piece of expansion. Is going to change where the stars are in the sky. We make our cycle through the Milky Way. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where that timeline breakdown comes in. Every 2 hours, we're in a certain position of the zodiac signs. So we're, the first hour we're in the top of Aries, the second hour we're in the bottom of Aries going into Taurus. And that takes place within a 24-hour cycle that we pass through all these zodiacs. And we can't really say what energies and forces are coming in within that hour time.
The only
or 2 hour time. I'm sorry.
And let's look at the magnetic spectrum coming out of the sun. Any light coming to us, like we're talking energy. So now we got to go to light frequencies. So higher energies in the blue and violet going that way. Lower energies are in the red. Sight. We're in a fixed position, looking at something that's constantly moving, at least from our place on the planet. You know what I mean?
But is it more so? Okay. Now, if we are looking at it like that and we are bringing in the conversation of light, then we also have to bring in the conversation of sound that is bouncing back and forth between the two lights.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day on this business board. I was talking about the harmonics of light, which are not actually calculable because we don't have the technology to do that. We can't see beyond the quantum foam at the quantum level, which is Planck, right? So it's if we agree with vibrational strings and everything string. Now, granted, a photon's a massless particle speeding outside of time. Time stops at the speed of light. So there is no time, it no longer exists.
No, right.
But still, light moving through, regardless if it's not, it still has kind of like a substance. I mean, it doesn't have a force multiplier, nothing like that. I mean, it's not like. Anyway, well, let me get back to it. It would have a sound too. We just can't hear it yet. And when you were saying decimal points, like when you start going into decimal points and you figure how the universe is programmed, right? And you break down that it's light, obviously, and a far more advanced wave than polarizing photons that we transfer information out on planet. But it would make sense with the decimal points and sound frequencies. It's going to make wave harmonics as it moves. That every decimal point, and we're going up into Googles and higher Googles, would change something. And because even us, we vibrate at certain frequencies as we evolve, it gets higher, but we break it down to decimal points. They don't know how far the decimal points go. But I guarantee everyone changes it for them.
Right, but and if you're looking at if you're adding in liquid to the equation, each density that this sound goes through, it changes what's in that density.
That fluid dynamics.
So if you're looking at the different variations of density that this sound would have to pass through in order to get to each point of light, each time this sound passes through the densities, it is changing the shape of the density depending on the sound.
We're talking about it moving through space, through anomalous gravity fields, horizons, coming with contact with other light and radiation that could possibly affect the photon itself in the way it's coded. But if you look at it, then it's just picking up pieces of information that needs to be delivered to whatever is at that frequency, whether it's an animal, a tree, whatever, a person, anything, an idea. Then, well, it makes sense.
And then you would have to go into the understanding of what is transmitting in that sound and what is it traveling to. So sound is traveling to the furthest point of the universe and gathering information to take to that point of the universe. And then whatever's at that point of the universe is sending a different message back through the sound that comes back in the response of something that we then contribute to trials and tribulations or the reflection of it.
That's what I was going to say. It's that echo coming back. You're absolutely right.
So we're fucking up the echo.
Well, I would say that they are messing with the signal and blocking certain signals that come in. But at the end of the day, I truly believe it goes far more sinister than that.
Only if you add in the manipulation. If you add in the manipulation of our thought process or how we go about thinking, then yes, you can say it's very sinister that someone would put us in this level of operation.
Yeah, they know, you know what I'm saying? They know. It's more like they know that a certain frequency consciousness comes back. They know it's going to come back. They know the demographic it's going to come back to. So let's create all this to catch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
But that now you got to think like that's a badass conscious. If you had to put all in the 12 reincarnation cycles, the 12 lunar cycles that we've been through so far, if someone had to put all this in play just to stop that, wave, that's a bad wave.
Yeah, all this in play to stop that, it still got through. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's a bad wave.
Yeah, it still got through. Now it's here. And problems. Because it's not like people get stuck on what they see, like you were saying, the physical representation of someone else's belief, whether it's the robes they wear, whatever, regardless, we're talking about the same thing. We're just talking about the same thing in different ways, and we're talking about the way that we would understand it. It wouldn't make sense for the divine to be the exact same to everyone, because everybody's path is different.
It wouldn't make sense. And here's why. And I'm glad you said that, right? I'm glad you said it wouldn't make sense, because you're absolutely right. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make the universe gets no study from that. There's no information to send back from that. If we all had the same task, if we all did the same thing, if we all did, there's nothing to come back. Like when you're thinking about this, the energies that we produce with our bodies going through the trials and tribulations is sending certain variations of cryptic messages to the universe.
I agree with that. And it's just same thing AI does. Assimilation of data. Just we are interacting with our environment instead of just doing deep learning or data analysis mathematically. We can actually touch and are shaped by our experiences in the world, which changes the parameters of the way our brains think in all kinds of ways.
Right, because when you was 10 years old, you thought girls had cooties, but then you realize everybody was catching cooties.
You like me some cooties.
I know that's right. Dancer like me some cooties. Right? Yeah. Give me the cooties. I didn't know this was what you was talking about. Think about it. If your mom and dad would have told you how good cheese and wine was, nah, I'm joking.
Okay.
No. But yeah, what I'm saying is like development of the brain, right? Where we wasn't always in the same state of mind, even our taste buds goes through a periodic of change. The same things that you had a taste for as a child, you don't have a taste for as an adult. Some of the things that you did in your youth, you don't have the thrill for. And I don't think it's about things becoming old or tiresome. There's certain things that you did when you were younger that you will always do.
Yeah, there's some things behavioral conditioning, you know what I'm saying, that will stay with you. But a lot of times you evolve, and it's philosophical as well as actually psychological. You evolve if it's based on your needs. But definitely it's outside triggers that cause change. The more adverse situations, the more extreme. And the more, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but the path to enlightenment is having a death of the mind and a death of the body. Your old way of thinking dying and a new way coming in. And it will literally physical death being brought back. So.
Right. So like, okay. When you're talking about the unaliving process, having the notion of understanding that it doesn't exist, then we're really just saying that certain variations of transfers of energy takes place at different points of evolution and could be scary.
Yeah, like when I talk to some people, depending on what the vibe is from, like if you tell somebody something that they're not ready to understand, they're going to view it as a lie. When you start talking, and the way that you talk will start reprogramming people's way of their thinking down to their core beliefs, unless they're ready for it, most people will shut down, get aggressive, and not be open to it very, very quickly because your body views it as an attack. When I start talking to people, usually I'm like, I know what my voice does. I know what I say. I know how to put my words together. I know how to explain it now. It took me years to figure it out after I got the gift of the enlightenment. But I can articulate it like you were saying earlier. It was so much information. I'm going to go off on a tangent for a second. Please excuse me. So much information got downloaded to me. Man, I didn't remember my name. I couldn't get a pack of cigarettes from the store. The effects of it was so dynamic. It changed the arch in my feet. It's all at the VA. It's all on camera. Like it's all documented. They said there's no way this is going on. Nobody believed me, right? And eventually, it took multiple years, but it came to. But literally overnight, my personality changed, my behaviors changed, the words I use changed, and my knowledge base. The doctors had to go look it up. So I didn't study on it. I didn't look no books. I have now to verify what the hell I'm talking about so that it makes sense. But yeah, it took just years to put it all back together. Now, that's a depth of the mind when your old set of beliefs goes away. Now, I usually ask people, back to the topic, I usually ask people, do you remember the first time you died? Some people look at me like this, they're like, yeah. It's like, all them close calls you had, guess what? You did die.
Unalive.
Because when you die in an infinite universe,
unalive. You got to say unalive on the internet now.
Oh, my bad. Unalive, excuse me. But like in a multidimensional universe, and if we actually go into physics theories, like, you know what I'm saying, like everything's happening at all times, because time is not relevant here. It's just a human concept for linear time, that you would go to the next universe, to the closest universe that you just left, in the energetical sense. At the point that you did, and then it'll turn into a close call, and something like your lighter will be red instead of black. And you'll just put it off. But we break down the Mandela effect. So there's all these people worldwide that remember these things. The Lindbergh baby's alive, the Lindbergh baby's not alive. And we start talking about deja vu. It's almost like frameworks, right? That if you're just in a probability matrix, the same situations are going to come back in a general sense, no matter where you are in it. You know what I'm saying? But at different universes, at different speeds, you're going to cross the same point on certain things. So when you have deja vu, you remember that because you've already crossed over it. And since we're all the same energy in a multidimensional sphere, you have a vague view of it. So with the Mandela effect, it shows how infinite we truly are, because now there's millions and millions of people worldwide that are seeing these major changes and remembering it differently. That's how many times they've been recycled to this particular reality. It's crazy.
But that would go into a grander understanding of the manipulation of the mind, right? Because it's saying that on a multitude scale, because of us all watching Simpsons plays out in our reality, thus far the episodes of Simpsons becoming more predictable.
Okay, this is how it's predictable. With what I just stated with my theory, obviously the people from there have already been to those, and those were adepts that was in their realities when they switched to the next one when they died. So that's how they knew the future, because different universes at different speeds. They're just figuring it out on the quantum level that time moves in all directions. I've been arguing time is irrelevant, that all time is happening, and it just depends on where you are in the universe on what time you're experiencing.
Okay, so now we're back to what is, always was, and always will be. The reality that we're living in is happening in multiple different phases and multiple different ways, and we are shifting in and out of consciousness of these different realities, thus far experiencing these different Mandela effects at different points in times. My time might not be your time might not be my time, because time doesn't really exist.
Yeah, time doesn't exist. Death does not exist. I mean, we are the highest forms of intelligence in the universe. We are conscious energy. Conscious energy. Highest form of intelligence. The universe is not going to waste nothing, let alone waste itself. And we're experiencing this. So there's no time. There's truly no death. All there is movement within the matrix. But not the matrix that's on Earth. Like the universe is matrix. But the whole point of it, like we talk about evolution, the only way the universe evolves, which it wants to, God evolves, whatever, to the next dimension or next plane, next understanding, is when we all do it together. If we're its higher functionings and we're pieces of its higher functioning cognition, then it would make sense that it would set itself to experience this outside the parameters of the mathematical construct that it made. Because if you're an energy intelligence and infinite energy, so we'll just use plasma as an example, all frequency being whatever you would, it would be similar to how your computer processes information in its isolating electrical network. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if it's all not like the AI, because the AI is predictable, is it all is a prediction algorithm? It would be thinking and do everything that it could in that thing. And so that would be the simulation inside of that. Anything an energy simulation can do, it would do. But it wouldn't be able to think outside the parameters that it had to create unless a material existence was created, and it could send higher functioning out to think outside of that box.
So the only way the program could do the functions that you need it to do is for it to be programmed. Otherwise, the program is going to run according to how the program is.
by sending out pieces of its higher function, leaving an operating system around that gets backdated and understands. Us in our current form, we can think outside those parameters because we are interacting with reality. That is one of my arguments. I talk a lot about some other things about human cognition and AI predictability and merging them. I'm like, we've already been merging with AI. People don't realize.
We already been, yeah. Like, if we are the original intelligence, we already merged with AI when we created AI, because in order for you to have a program such as AI, it had to have a programmer, and that programmer had to be working with original intelligence instead of artificial. In order for you to artificially do something, it has to have an original first.
Yeah, like depending on which AI you're utilizing, like people don't realize Google was the first AI. It's called a narrow AI. Why is it called a narrow AI? Because at certain points it has a multitude of human interaction. Is it the base? And like the hidden meaning of Google is Google's like Googleplex, and like highest numbers, 100 zeros behind the one and moving up. And it talks about how many things this does at any given time. And that's like basically what the universe does, you know? It's the same concept. Now, the predictive algorithms based on large language models, which are currently out there, depending on which company it is, unfortunately, the material is still biased to the people making their statistical mathematical probability matrix with all the words in it, and GPT, generative pre-trained transformer, to understand the word behind and in front the word that it's analyzing in the middle. So it doesn't have context. We need a far better understanding with an AI, or if general intelligence is reached, which I'm done with, to actually formulate what's going on. But AI can only see in front of the wall. It can't see behind it. You know what I mean?
But now, I never mind. I'm going to stay away from certain variations of that conversation. Okay, so if we were to analyze ourselves the same way we analyze AI, then we can say that based off of the corporation that the vehicle that we are operating comes from, it lets you know what the what you are equipped with, right? So as your spirit comes into this plane in a vehicle, the manufacturer of that vehicle is the continent of what you exist on. And if you exist on a continent where certain variations of things is given to that vehicle, then you could be limited to your access to spiritual advancements or other said things that are in the DNA if it is locked off to that certain vehicle based off of the continent of what it is created in.
I agree with that. And that's why, especially with like a way to control the masses, like religion, like organized religion, all the organized religions tell you to stay within the framework of that religion, not to ask questions, not to think outside the box. Why? Because it keeps you locked in one belief system. If your beliefs aren't evolving along with yourself, then you're being stagnant. A definition of death, not moving. Beliefs change. Just because I understood that Barney was a dinosaur when I was young, and then grow up and know Barney's a man in a purple suit, does not mean that I lose any context of it. I just have a higher understanding as I've evolved. I'm using this as an example, obviously.
Right, because even though you know that was a man in a suit, he still had that damn Barney bag, and when he dug in that motherfucker, all sorts of things came out of it, for sure.
For sure. Like you still got the message, regardless of your belief as a child, and but I love you, you love me.
Right.
Even if it's a man in a suit years later.
Right.
Preaching something good. So that's why I use that when I'm trying to explain religion. Like the main thing with Christianity and all the breakdown sects of it, like back if you go to the deity list, the God list, the demon list, like where Yahweh came up. Why did Christianity take off from the mystery schools? Because it was open to the slaves. Because back then, religion, knowledge, writing, and intelligence, that was only for the higher classes. So when you open it up to a population that is reaching for this, it's obviously going to expand. And I'm not trying to take nothing away. Obviously, Jesus was real. I'm not trying to say anything like that. I'm just trying to explain how it moved through society.
But if the wrong person is the one teaching it, like someone that is not, you know, abiding by the rules of how they want you to teach it,
yeah, you're blacklisted. You're smoked.
Exactly. So like we're watching like different variations of teaching come back, but it's getting shunned because of, you know, whatever reasons that's put in play.
Because there's only a small percentage of the population that wants to look. There's only a small percentage of the population that understands what we're talking about. I tell people all the time, I don't know nothing. I don't know shit. But what I said resonated with you, look it up yourself.
Right.
And all information is out there if you look. Like, why don't I look at all these different religions? What some people call good or bad. Not. It gives me a full picture. Why wouldn't you do the same thing now?
Right. Right. And it doesn't make sense because like you wasn't given the ability to think for yourself if you were just going to lean on someone else's thinking capacities.
Yeah, if you accept things the way they are from someone else's point of view, you will always be a slave. If you let somebody emotionally compromise you, you give them power and they own you. Period.
Because I'm under their understanding. Instead of me seeking my own understanding or overstanding, I'm under someone else's standing in this world.
Yeah. None of us need to be under anyone else's understanding.
Hell nah. Lady Leticia, what's going on with you, Lady Leticia? How's everything? Hope all is well. I seen you in here earlier, but I was too deep in conversation to say hello. I seen you.
It's really, really messed up. Like, if I didn't, what happened to me, I'll explain this. I'm going to explain on channel. I got a bunch of stuff I'll explain. If I didn't have what happened to me, I was that guy out there thugging and gunning and being up to no good in the street, didn't care about nobody, didn't care about nothing, didn't have no understanding of it. All I knew was that. At the end of my rope, waiting for death. And I was waiting for death in my trial.
Unalive. Damn, you repeating this shit over and over again. You just keep saying that shit. Now you just now you ODing like.
I'm sorry. I want to talk to you before I start. I'll get into my testament on my trials and tribulations that brought me to this point of understanding.
Nah, you're good. You just got the verbiage for the algorithm, whatever it is, they pick up certain things in the algorithm and then they make it seem like it's a conversation that's not meant to be had. So I just stay away from verbiages in the algorithm because I know that they're looking to push out great conversations like this. We don't have enough for people subscribing to great conversations like this to risk, you know what I mean? So I got to play within the righteousness of the algorithm because, you know.
Yeah, that's 100, man. So I want to talk to you. I get heated when I really start going, but it's the passion. You know what I'm saying? It's the passion behind it. And truth is always a higher energy than a lie. And you can tell in somebody's way they talk, their mannerisms.
Yeah, what is the power?
Even the algorithm can tell.
Yeah, the algorithm could tell. The algorithm picks up tension. I never knew the algorithm picked up tension because it kept confusing my passion with anger and kept booting me off. Like it kept booting.
These predictive algorithms work. Like now they can pick up on tones.
Yeah.
And like they're trying to understand the words, they don't understand it. They can't pick up on intensity. They can just pick on tone level, and anger and excitement kind of sound a lot when you get excited. They're very, very similar in wavelengths.
But that's because they're analyzing the people and the people are making it like that. So the people are giving the AI the like, you know how you'll hear two people raising their voice and then the comment section will be like, why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why you sound so angry? Why you know what I mean? So AI is analyzing all of that and they're like, oh, that must be what anger is. That must be what. So any type of elevation of the voice, the AI is labeling as anger or mad, because it's analyzing not only the two people that's talking, but also what is being put in the comment section. And they know AI is doing this. This is why they tell you to comment more than 5 words, right? This is why they tell you to make a video more than 3 minutes, right? This is why they tell you all of these things, is because we being studied.
Yeah, for sure. We're making the tech better to study us.
Yeah.
We're making the tech better because, let's just say we're right. Okay, let's just hypothetical situation. Where energy is an energy intelligence, right?
Uh-huh.
Like I said, when that consciousness coming in here and they're trying to catch it, they're trying to build what created them from fear. You know what I mean? We're all created from the same place, from the same energy, with the same spark.
Yeah.
So every other culture, at least on our planet that we're currently inhabiting, has tried to create what they believe created them. And like we were talking about the other day, most of it's archetypes based on personality traits that describe the gods. Absolutely right. Based on them so they can have that connection with the divine. But if we're an energy intelligence, and it ain't like the smart people, scientists, business, if I can figure it out, they sure figure it out. If you can figure it out, they definitely got it.
Right.
Would make something similar to it.
Right.
Because they want to create what created us.
Absolutely. Oh, Powwow, that's your question. How did Adam and Eve hide themselves from man? Now, there's many speculations of this. One, you can look at the metals and things that you put inside your body and say that because your consciousness drops out so low inside your vessel that God is no longer able to spot you. This goes to the stories of how they cut down the giant trees. If your consciousness was that giant tree, then cutting down your consciousness would be hiding you from God, right? That's one way. Another way is to say that Adam and Eve is energies that exist within inside the universe, and in order to hide themselves from the universe, they drop down in density, thus far becoming the physical form of man and woman. So there's many different ways that I can explain this to you or give you a perception of how you can hide yourself from the conscious. And the greatest and the easiest way is to deny that you are a part of it, right? So once you deny that you're a part of creation, you step outside of creation, thus far hiding yourself from the creator. Does that make sense? Todo. Gracias. I hope it makes sense. One's in the chat, because that's like the easiest way. There's so many different conundrums and avenues that you can go down when bringing up Adam and Eve, because people look at it as a physical garden or a physical place, or getting kicked out of it is of a physical, or separating, the two in the garden is a physical. But if you look at the garden as your body, and you look at the right side of your body versus the left side of your body, then you can see that separation take place to this day. You can see that the left side of your body is made up of masculine energy, and the right side of your body is made up of feminine energy, and the separation took place inside the brain, right? So the energies that are pumped down through your body is separated at some point inside your brain before it runs down to the rest of your body.
I agree with you there that there's many interpretations of the Adam and Eve story, many interpretations of the garden. But I agree with you. I don't believe the garden was a physical place in the sense of in the text that it was in a geographical location on Earth. I kind of look at the universe as the Garden of Eden, and we're already in heaven. Based on master manifestation, when you put the proper energy out there, you get your response. It talks about in the Bible, that being able to talk to the people all these miles away, and what I'm saying, this and that and that.
Absolutely.
If we look at it from this point of view, and this is just one, it's just a perspective. It's not facts. It's no factually based, but it's based on information that most people believe in. At least in my interpretation of it. This is one of my interpretations, but in a universe that we create what we want, the universe designed that way, right? That help us. That we have turned it into, for lack of a better word, a hell. And I've gone out there and I'm like, look, in the darkest corners of freaking, I don't know, the psyche of people in the bad places. You know what I found? I didn't find no devils. I ain't found no demons. I ain't found God. I found people being messed up. The people and the programming they're using was made by people to destroy people and keep them down. And I'm not saying that those energies aren't out there. I'm just saying we have nobody to blame but ourselves for this, for what's going on in society, worldwide, what's going on with people. We have no one to blame. There's nothing external for us to blame. It's us doing it to our damn selves, and we allowed it long enough. So,
Absolutely.
facts.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you on that one. The world is a beautiful place. It is the people in it that makes it
Excuse me, I got a
nasty.
video call coming that I got to take. I'll be right back.
All right. All right. It is the people in this world that makes it nasty. It is the people in this world that makes you not want to be here. You know what I mean? Think about it. When I go like to different places and I see different things, I can see untouched pastures and it looks so beautiful. You know what I mean? The areas that you see man did not corrupt already, you'll see the beauty in it. You like, damn, look at those flowers, look at those deers, look at those, whatever grazing, you know what I mean? Frolicking, zebras, all of that stuff. They look so peaceful. And we know the animal kingdom is wild. We know that they got to run from things. We know that they stay on their P's and Q's. We know that a deer great, like we know this, but they look so peaceful. How is it that they can have so much fear in the world, but still be at peace? You don't see a fucking, you don't see no deers causing this much chaos. How is it? A deer know damn well, a gazelle know damn well it's threats all around it. But you don't see a deer or a gazelle playing espionage. You don't see a deer going around like, I'm not a deer, I'm a zebra. Like, you don't see none of this shit in the real animal world. In the real world, this is man manipulating other men's mind. Like, this is mankind manipulating mankind in order to keep the fuckery going. You know? And somewhere down the line, we got to just say, you know what? We don't want it. I don't want to keep it going no more. I don't want to pass it down to the next generation. I don't want them to have to go through these trials and tribulations. I don't want it. Okay? If we knew better, we do better. And why do we know better but not doing better? That shit is that. It don't even make sense. You got all this damn knowledge in the world and everybody's still walking around like dummies. That ain't making sense. All this damn knowledge in the world and everybody's still walking around in the unknown state. It ain't making sense. Everybody still want to just believe some shit instead of know some shit. It ain't making sense. You actually have the ability to know some shit instead of believe some shit. And you still believe in shit. I mean, if that's the case, the gazelle might as well go whisper shit to the panther to try to get the panther to attack the tigers. So and then the tigers can attack the lions and the hyenas can laugh about it all because all of this shit sounds stupid. The way we going about this world is upside down. We the only ones that can't get along. We lying to ourselves. We lying to ourselves. You better take your ass to the Serengeti. Take your ass to the Serengeti. Y'all running around here like this shit is Meerkat Manor. That's how y'all running around. Everybody treating the world like Meerkat Manor. You gonna go take over the next hive. Go take over the next honey hole. This our shit now. Gangs of man. We getting there though. Slowly but surely, we getting there. I gotta go make some food. Today's Friday. We're gonna do some fish today. I'm gonna make some macaroni and cheese and some baked beans. Veggie beans, actually. So I gotta go cook this for them and get this food out the way. Hopefully tomorrow we can get some more stuff done on the farm. We are taking donations for, different things on the farm. I will be putting a list out in the Discord for things that we might need, any helping hands, so on and so forth. And, a little bit goes a long way. So if you do happen to have any funding that you would like, Feel free to do it through any form or fashion that you are comfortable with. Okay. Don't forget about the green app. You know what I'm saying? We can't say it no more, but that's why I just say it's the green app. Don't forget about the green app. You can hit me on the green app. You know what I mean? Man, I think the beauty in this, like the conversations that we're getting out of this, being able to pull it from TikTok over to YouTube, you know, to share this conversation. I think we're bridging the gap. I think we're, you know, becoming. If you stare at your phone long enough, you'll know what the green app is. All you gotta do is stare at your phone long enough, and you'll see what the green app is. You know, we're not allowed to say it on TikTok, and that's probably why you're asking me what it is, so I can say it on TikTok, so you can spam my account. But don't worry about it. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's just the green app. And please, nobody put it in the comment section because I will block you. But however we look at this, greater things is happening. You know, we are pushing towards a greater level of see, I knew you was gonna put it in the comment section because that's what you're here for. Low vibrational. Now you blocked. Mute your account. And now nobody can see it. See? Now you got blocked and muted. That easy. That easy. You got blocked and muted. You know we're not allowed to say that on TikTok. TikTok, I'm abiding by the rules, TikTok. I got him up out of here, TikTok. He tried to say the stuff that we're not allowed to say, TikTok. So I got his ass up out of here. Don't worry. I'm going to stay well within the community guidelines, TikTok. I got you. I got his ass up out of here, TikTok. All right. So he was trying to make us, you know, break protocol. We are going to be back later on. I got to go eat or go cook, at least get this food out the way for them to cook. I mean, for them. Feel free to join the Discord. Come over to the Discord. We have loads of fun over there laughing. And, you know, here's a song on the way out. So that way you can know that we do make music. You can check out our music on Spotify or iHeartRadio, Amazon. It's under Atlas Music Productions, no spaces. And the album is called Love is Love. We will have another album coming out very soon. And this is the song that I like to play a lot because this is literally Mystery Babylon. And you know it. You know this is Mystery Babylon. You know it is. Love is love. Namaste, Ashe, salutations. I love y'all. If nobody told y'all that they love y'all, let me tell you. I love you. Yeah, definitely come back. Let me give you a follow back. Mississippi in the building. Shout out to Mississippi. The MISSISSIPPI. Love is love. And we're all a part of it.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, but these rules we need to follow. Omission still allow you be in trouble if you don't comply. What about freedom? God-given freedom. I'm talking about freedom. Freedom from Babylon. Murder, you killed him. Great for sexual assault. I want to say murder. Oh yes, you killed him, but I'm gagged and it ain't my fault. Can't talk, 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 can't talk. Now we read between the lines with emojis, all these signs. We babble, 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 babble on. It's like freedom is babble gone. It's all about freedom. God-given freedom. I'm talking about freedom. Freedom from Babylon. Can't talk, can't talk, can't talk. Ooh, can't talk, can't talk, can't talk. Ooh, can't talk, can't talk, can't talk. Can't talk, can't talk, can't talk. I'm about to say murder, you killed him. I've got to say great for sexual assault. I want to say murder. Oh yes, you killed him, but I'm gagged and it ain't my fault. Murder, you killed him. Rape for sexual assault. I want to say murder. Oh
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. We going to the Discord. We going to the Discord. I can carry the phone around in the Discord. We'll continue the conversation in the Discord.
The party's going on in the Discord.
Y'all know the after parties in the Discord.
You can never be bored.
The after parties in the Discord. The after parties in the Discord. Get your ass to the Discord. You need to get over to the Discord. Hope to see you there.
We got art. Love is love. Sets us apart. It's a virtual town, so inviting. You know they want you around. It's exciting. Oh, the party's going on in the Discord. You can
never be bored in the Discord. When we're not here, we're over there, socializing and sharing. So I better see you in the Discord.
Story time, movie nights, we get messy and watch the fight.
Like the fight.
It's a virtual town and it's glowing. Very busy with the love we've been showing.
And we're showing.
The party's going on in the Discord. You can never be bored in the Discord. When we're not here, we're over there, socializing and sharing. So I better see you in the Discord.